Hey there, YouTube. Today we're going to be building a survey bot in Discord. So I want to start by outlining our survey bot's behavior. Essentially, a user should be able to create a survey and specify the question, runtime, and a series of potential answers that other users in that server can react to. Once created, the bot will post an embed that should contain the question, answers, and it should set the initial reactions to guide the users. And then finally, once the survey is completed, the results should be posted into the server. So some of the techniques that I'm going to be using in this example are arguments, message collectors, reaction collectors, and if you've been following along with my Discord bot series, we're going to use embeds, which is a new type of message in Discord. All right, let's get started. Let's start by go ahead and opening up a new if statement, as always. And let's use the command survey. First thing we need to do is we need to create a survey object, which we're going to use to store the input from our user. And we're going to create a reactions array here, which is going to hold the 1 through 4 reactions for us. This we're going to use a couple different spots later down the line, so let's just go ahead and leave that there for now. We're going to go ahead and say message.channel.send welcome to the survey command. What would you like to ask the community? And we're pretty much going to use promise chaining all the way down for this one. So we're going to append a then to this. We don't need to pass anything into this arrow function. We're just going to create a basic collector to get the next message that comes in. So we're going to create our filter here. Standard filter, message.author.bot, and our standard options of a max of 1 message and a timeout of 15 seconds. So in order to create a collector that works with promise chaining, instead of using the create collector, we're going to return message.channel.await messages with our filter and options. This is just another way to create a collector like we did before. However, because that returns a promise, we can chain another then statement on the end of this. And we're going to pass in collected into our next arrow function. So we want to get the content of the first element of the collected array and actually add that into our survey. And we're going to create a field inside called question. Collected.array. Grab the first element and grab the content from that first element. So now that the question's been collected, we need to ask for our next piece of information, which is going to be how long it is run for. We're going to return a promise for message.channel.send. And let's add some fun little text in here. Great. How long should it run for? And to help the user out, we're going to say specified in seconds. We'll handle that math there later. And then I'm actually going to copy and paste this previous chained then. Since we're essentially doing the same thing here, we're probably going to do it one more time. So now we're waiting for messages again. I'm going to chain another n there to get past in the collected argument to a new arrow function. So since we want to receive a number, we're actually going to put some error checking in here. If it is not a number, same thing, convert the collection to an array, grab the first element, grab the content. Basically meaning this is really a number. Survey.timeout equals collected.array. Get that first element again and content. And then we're going to return a message.channel.send, which is our next promise. Excellent. Now enter up to 4 options separated by commas. Now we need to handle this in case it's not a number. So let's add an else to our if statement. And let's throw a new error of not a number. Okay, so provided this is successful, we want to go ahead and copy and paste this in here one more time. This is just going to create a new collector for us to wait for those messages. And our last then statement here, collected, we're going to pass into an arrow function. Survey.answers equals collected.array. Same thing we've been doing before. Get the first element, get the content, but now we're going to split it by the commas as specified before. And for the sake of checking to make sure our code is working properly, we're just going to console log this out now. Go ahead and save this, do a little bit of cleanup, check our terminal, and make sure our bot properly restarted. Let's head back into Discord and let's try out our new command. Survey. Welcome to the survey command. What would you like to ask the community? How about which programming language you like best? Great. How long should it run for? Say 15 seconds. Since I didn't receive an immediate response, it seems that I likely have an issue with my code. So let's go back into VS Code to debug this. It says NaN is not a function. That is correct. That's because it is NaN. Let's go ahead and save this and try again. Survey. Which programming language do you like best? Let's try 15 seconds again. Excellent. Now enter up to 4 options. Say JavaScript, C#, Go, and Python. Okay, now I wasn't expecting to get any response from that because we logged our output. And here's our object that has been logged into the console, our question, our timeout, and our answers. So next thing we need to do is add our reaction collector. So we're going to get rid of our console.log statement, and I'm going to paste in some code here. We'll go through it line by line just like we did before. We have an empty string here for survey description, and inside of our survey.answers, which is specified here, we're going to essentially add in a line for each one, and using the index of the reactions above, we can add an emoji next to the question and display our answers formatted line by line with the emojis next to them to show the user which option they're voting for. Now we're going to create a new object called a message embed, which is essentially a rich text card that can be embedded inside of the server as opposed to standard plain text. So we're going to set the title of that embed to survey with the question itself, and then just add the description into the end, and then finally send that survey embed into the channel. So now we're going to chain in another then statement here, and we're going to pass in a survey embed message into an arrow function. And what we can actually do to react to this embed message is we can check the number of answers that we have in our survey and use the reactions array above to react to the survey embed message. It sounds more complicated than it is, so let me walk through how to do that. Use a for loop. Let the iterator equal 0. And we want to check to see if the iterator is less than survey.answers.length. And we want to just iterate over that positively. Let's open that block up, and we're going to say survey embed message.react reactions, which is our array that we used above. And then the index, or the iterator that's passed in here, is going to match up exactly with the index of the array above. So this is going to handle our reactions. Now we want to create a reaction collector here. So const filter equals reaction user, pass that into an arrow function, return reactions.includes reaction.emoji.name, just like we did before. And same thing, the user's not a bot. Our options are going to be, we don't want to worry about a maximum number of reactions, but we do want to worry about the timeout that our user had specified when creating the survey. So we're going to say survey.timeout. We're going to multiply that by 1,000 just to make sure that we're converting it to milliseconds. And finally, we're going to return survey embed message.await reactions, which is the promised way of doing this. And we're going to pass in our filter and options. And that's going to end the then block we just added. So now that all this is in place, let's go ahead and test this one more time. Head back into Discord. I'm going to create a new survey. I'm just going to copy and paste my messages from before so I could save myself the typing. 15 seconds. And paste in our languages here. And this is an example of an embed. You can see how it differentiates itself from a standard text message like this. But here's our title that we specified. Here's the description that we've specified, as well as all the reactions that our bot has added to the message to start the users off. So the last thing we want to do is we want to display the results of the survey once it's done. So because we're returning the await reactions version of our reactions collector, we can grab the results of this in another then statement. So collected, pass that into another arrow function. So we need to convert this to array. So collected array is going to be our variable name. It's collected.array. We're going to map that array to just grab the emoji names. So let collected reactions equals collected array. We're going to use the map function, pass in our item, and we're going to return item._emoji.name. So essentially, we're removing anything that we don't care about from that array and only grabbing the emoji names. And then we're going to create a new object called reaction counts. And finally, we're going to loop through our collected reactions using a for each loop. Pass in our reaction into another arrow function. And we're going to say if the reaction counts for this reaction exists, we're going to iterate over that to increase the number of reactions we've logged. If it does not exist, we're going to say reaction counts for that reaction is equal to 1. And now for the last snippet of code, I'm going to go ahead and paste this in and explain what it does line by line. So we're creating an empty string of survey results that we're going to pass into our embed description. Next, we're going to loop through our survey.answers using a for each loop again, but we need to track the index this time. We're going to create a new variable to track the number of votes that this particular answer has. And this is all based on the index between the reactions and the reaction counts. So we're going to check to see if the reaction counts for a specific emoji of 1 through 4 match here. And if they do, we're going to set the vote count for the number of counts there. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to create another string called vote count content, which is going to come after the question is displayed in the embed description for each line. And all this is really doing is it's going to add inside of parentheses the number of votes that the question has. And then I'm doing some inline conditional statement here to check to see if the vote count is not equal to 1, add an S to it, otherwise leave it blank. And finally, we're going to add to the survey results the specific emoji 1 through 4 for that question, the question itself, and then the vote count content. And then finally, we're going to set the title for our new embed message here, results for the survey question, as well as the total number of collected reactions, set the description, and then finally send it back into the server. Let's go ahead and save this. Let's issue our survey command one last time. I'm going to paste in my question and answers just like I had done previously. Let's set this for 10 seconds this time. Paste my answers in. And now that we know that we're going to get the results, let's go ahead and react to a couple of these. Okay, once the timeout is hit, we can see we have 3 total votes, which is myself voting in 3 separate options, as well as the options I had voted for: JavaScript, Go, and Python. If you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor, like, subscribe, and share the video. I'm also live right here on YouTube every Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Central. For channel updates or to get in touch with me, follow me on Twitter at BrianMMDev or join my Discord using the link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.